1-866-95-PATRIOT. Our friend Scott from Florida, you're on the Wilkow Majority. Go ahead.
Hey, Andrew. As a liberal, I think one of the things I enjoy the most about your show is that you really do frame almost everything you talk about in terms of the Constitution or Bastiat or Hazlitt. And I've read Atlas Shrugged. I've never read Bastiat. I have not read Hazlitt. I do intend to. But my question for you is that you consistently use that one example, his bridge to nowhere example, which I understand if we were in 2006, it would be pretty resonant. But what I want to hear from you is what program, stimulative program, do you think Obama signed off on that was a bridge to nowhere?
Okay, all of it. The entire stimulus package failed to keep unemployment from rising above 8%. That was the promise of the stimulus package. Am I incorrect in that?
No, you're absolutely correct.
Okay.
That was a promise given, Andrew, that was a promise given 3 months before he entered office, and it was based on the last 2 quarters of Bush's final year.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They were selling that. No, don't give me this 3 months before he was inaugurated stuff. They were selling it after he was inaugurated. Okay. They swore up and down. They were telling members of Congress. They were telling voters. They were telling everybody that we have to inject this money into the system right now to create jobs. Unemployment went up and it kept going up. It's now receded to 8.6%. Okay, if you factor in real unemployment, in other words, not the Department of Labor choosing to say, well, we no longer count this group and that group. Real unemployment is approximately 10 to 12%. Nobody really knows. But the ceiling of 8% was broken, and we're hoping to recede to it. If we even recede to it, what was the purpose of the spending of the $862 billion?
The problem that I have with that take on what you're talking about is that it ignores what we knew to be the facts at that time and the facts that we know now. They revised Bush's final 2 quarters, triple the job losses.
Okay, let me do this for you, Scott. Where in the Constitution does it say the federal government has the authority to pave a road in Columbus, Ohio?
Actually, I would say that there is probably something in the Constitution that does talk about paving roads. You're talking about the post office. You and I both know that.
Yeah, that's okay. No, I do not dispute the federal interstate system as much as people sometimes hate it for what it did to property values and the fact that it was that eminent domain was used. That is correct to establish post offices and post roads. But that doesn't mean that the federal government should be. Then why are the people of Columbus, Ohio, paying their city taxes? This is what I don't understand about your thought process. We have jurisdictions in this country. If you are paying taxes in the city of Columbus, Ohio, then the money you pay for taxes in Columbus, Ohio goes to your Columbus, Ohio Police Department, your Columbus, Ohio Fire Department, your Columbus, Ohio Parks and Rec Department. It's the Department of Public Works. That's the jurisdiction of Columbus, Ohio. That has nothing to do with the federal government. If the federal government is...
Yeah, I appreciate that. And I'm not arguing states' rights. In fact,
It's not even states' rights. It's taxpayer rights. They've already paid the taxes for those things. Now they're paying for them again at the federal level.
I guess this is the issue that I have with it, Andrew, is that I drive around the South. I drive through several states on a monthly basis, and I see these roads that were repaved and fixed by the stimulus money. They were in poor shape. It's not a bridge to nowhere. The only bridge.
But hold on, sir. Hold on. $664 billion were appropriated for highway and transportation between George H.W. Bush and Barack Obama through 2 terms of Bill Clinton and 2 terms of $664 billion was appropriated between 2 terms of Clinton and 2 terms of Bush. And the Bush money only expired in 2009. So where did that $664 billion go?
It sounds to me like it went onto the roads that you and I drive on.
So you're telling me between George W. Bush and Barack Obama that the roads descended into such a state of disrepair that we needed $862 billion to fix them?
What I'd ask is for anyone from Louisiana or Mississippi to call into your show right now and explain to you that yes.
Unless you're talking I-10. The federal government's job is not to pave roads throughout the state of Louisiana. That's what the state government of Louisiana is there for.
Right, and I'm not trying to be combative, Andrew. What I'm trying to say is that your state argument in that respect is correct. My point to you is with Hazlitt. And
Hazlitt is 100% right in this. And if you look at if the federal government is paving roads in Louisiana at the expense of taxpayers in Montana, how is that constitutional?
I'm not going to argue the constitutionality of it, Andrew. You and I both know that the federal government has spent stimulus money, and your point, I thought 20 minutes ago, was that we spent stimulus money when it really didn't require it. And that is a bridge to nowhere. Hazlitt's argument holds water in that respect. I'm for that. What I'm trying to tell you is that the spending I saw was needed, and it helped.
Well, then it should have been done by the states.
The states are broke, Andrew.
Because the federal government taxes the residents of the state at the federal level so high that the states can't make up the difference. The federal government is not supposed to be taxing you for education. It's not supposed to be taxing you for a Department of Agriculture. That does not reside in the Constitution.
And I'm not going to argue that.
You can't argue it. Scott, I got news for you. You can't argue it.
Well,
you can't.
Slow down. Give me 2 minutes, and let's see. If
Okay, I have my Constitution right here. I would like to tell me where I should look for the federal authority over education spending.
It's not in there.
Thank you very much for the call. Once again, we're right, they're wrong. That's the end of the story. There's no letting him finish there. It doesn't reside as authority in the Constitution. That's where the conversation ends. That's where I thank the caller for the call. That's where I move on to the next caller.